the station working for you. This is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Nicole Griffin. New at 11 o'clock, first responders from central Indiana are being deployed to another natural disaster. About 30 minutes ago, more than 24 members of Indiana Task Force 1 left for Baton Rouge, Louisiana. They will help relief efforts related to Tropical Storm Sally, which is expected to reach hurricane strength.
We're being asked to deploy as a Type 3 team, which is 45 people, and basically all of our cache that we're a lighter and quicker team that's able to search, get into buildings if we have to, water rescues by boats as needed, and to be able to basically do whatever the local communities are in need of.
Task Force 1 is a search and rescue team, and less than 2 weeks ago, members returned home from a deployment to Louisiana for Hurricane Laura. WRTV meteorologist Kyle Mounts is standing by. And Kyle, what can we expect for the start of the work week?
Yeah, some very quiet weather here at home, Nicole. We look at the big picture, though, and there is Tropical Storm Sally churning in the Gulf of Mexico, expected to make landfall in Louisiana overnight tomorrow night. Our skies, though, have cleared out. We had just a few of those clouds around throughout the afternoon and evening. And with those clear skies, temperatures starting to cool off a little bit after making our way into the lower 80s earlier today. You're at 63 right now in Greencastle, 66 in Indy and Columbus, and Tipton at 64 degrees. As kids head off to the bus stop in the morning, nice and dry. Will be a little cool, though, with temperatures dipping down into the upper 50s here. We'll have that sunshine coming up around 8 o'clock and 64 by 10 a.m. Coming up here in a few minutes, we're going to talk about how long this break in the humidity will last, if we'll see any impacts from Tropical Storm Sally, and get ready for a fall feel in the 7-day planner.
All right, Kyle, thank you. You can learn about several job and career opportunities this week, and we start with the Indiana Department of Transportation. INDOT is hosting statewide hiring events from 10 to 3 on Tuesday. The department is looking to fill around 100 winter seasonal positions. Those jobs go from November through March. Starting pay is $16 per hour. Amazon is holding a virtual career day on Wednesday. In addition to interviews, you can take part in panel discussions, workshops, and one-on-one coaching sessions. Last week, Amazon announced it's hiring more than 800 people to work at a new operations facility in Greenfield. And Kroger will hold a job fair from 2 to 7 on Wednesday. The grocery chain is looking to fill dozens of positions on the north side of Indianapolis and in Hamilton County. Representatives say if you have a good attitude and personality, don't worry if you don't have experience.
We can train an applicant to bake cookies or to get carts, but what we're really looking for is somebody who's energetic, somebody who's friendly. That's really what we're looking for in our applicants.
For more information about those opportunities and many more, just go over to hiringhoosiers.com. Several airlines plan on cutting tens of thousands of jobs next month. The travel industry is one of many devastated by the pandemic. Even airports are impacted. The executive director of the Indianapolis Airport Authority tells WRTV air travel in Indianapolis fell about 95% in the early weeks of the pandemic. Right now, business is at about 35% of those numbers seen in 2019. Mario Rodriguez says it could take years for the industry to fully rebound, and it will likely not be the same as before COVID.
It may be 3 to 5 years. You know, we may end up between 2024 and 2026 recovering, and also it's transformative. So the industry, although will still be part of the fabric of society here in the United States, it may be a little bit different.
When it comes to the flying experience in this new normal, passengers coming into Indianapolis International shared their thoughts with WRTV.
It was real nice, comfortable, very relaxed. I mean, we just kept our masks up and everything.
Honestly, I didn't feel it was too much different. There might have been a little bit longer wait and just the inconvenience of wearing a mask, but didn't have any problems.
There are some positive signs for the airport. Flights to St. Louis, Memphis, Fort Lauderdale, Fort Myers, and Cancun have been added since the pandemic. The rhetoric on the presidential campaign trail is heating up. ABC's Andrew Denver reports not all of the attacks are related to the pandemic.
To the hills President Trump in Las Vegas Sunday holding his first indoor campaign rally since an event in Tulsa this past June.
He had me standing over the grave and the graves of our fallen heroes from many years ago. It's called disinformation.
The Biden campaign releasing this ad alleging the president called fallen war veterans suckers and losers, remarks the president has repeatedly denied making. Thousands of supporters packing the arena, no social distancing, and very few people wore masks. Earlier in the day, the president hosting a Latinos for Trump roundtable.
We've had tremendous support from the Hispanic Americans on the southern border because they understand the southern border better than anybody.
Joe Biden taking a very different approach, only recently beginning to make public appearances, wearing a mask and practicing social distancing. The Democratic nominee slamming the president, saying Nevadans don't need more bluster from the president and don't need his reckless rallies.
Safety is of the utmost importance to our campaign. That is why Vice President Biden is modeling good behavior.
The president continues to face fallout over his interviews with Bob Woodward, where he admits to downplaying the virus.
I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
Yes, sir.
Because I don't want to create a panic.
Biden promising transparency if he's elected.
I'll take responsibility. I'll acknowledge my mistakes when I make them. And I'll level with the American people.
Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, Washington.
Andrew, thank you. Police say one person is dead after a shooting on the east side of Indianapolis. Officers were called to the scene at Colorado Avenue and Washington Street at around 9:45 tonight. Look for updates on Good Morning Indiana and WRTV.com. The Marion County Coroner's Office has released the name of the boy struck and killed by a car in Lawrence. Police say 11-year-old Isai Raimundo died after the car hit him and a 15-year-old. It happened last night as the kids crossed Post Road near 42nd Street. The teen is in serious condition but is expected to survive. The driver stayed at the scene. Investigators initially said both children died. According to a joint statement released by Indianapolis City County Councilors Lakeisha Jackson and Keith Graves, the kids were brothers and were riding their bikes when they were struck. The statement goes on to say, quote, unfortunately, last night's accident was one of several in recent weeks involving cars and pedestrians or cyclists. We implore motorists in our districts and across the city to slow down and be extra careful to look out for your neighbors on foot or bicycles. Detectives in Hamilton County are asking for help in the search for a missing girl. The sheriff's office says Savannah O'Connor Petro was last seen around 10:30 Wednesday night near her home on Sheridan Road near Noblesville. She's described as 5'4", around 145 pounds, with black hair and a scar on her right eyebrow. She was last seen wearing gray sweatpants and a black sports bra. If you have any information, you are asked to call 317-773-1282. Will Ohio State, Michigan, IU, Purdue, and other Big Ten football teams take the field this fall after all? What we know tonight after a big Big Ten meeting and next.
It's not about the technology. It's really kind of about the magic, right? It's what the technology enables.
How new technology combined with old-fashioned puppy love is helping seniors cope with loneliness.
From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
Many people are feeling isolated as the pandemic continues, especially older adults. Scripps reporter Chloe Nordquist shows how a company is helping tackle loneliness by combining technology with furry friends.
If you keep your hand here long enough, it feels like he's breathing.
Alan Trujillo is holding a lifelike pet.
They still talk to it like, oh baby, oh you're so cute. They forget that it's not real.
A toy he brings in for older adults as part of his job with Home Instead.
We provide senior care for seniors in their home. A lot of times, the only person our senior will see is their caregiver.
Right now, with COVID-19 concerns, interaction for seniors are limited and all the more important.
They're very aware that they are in that high majority group of people who don't survive this. So, you know, it does lead to a little depression.
Depression these lifelike animals help combat.
Well before the pandemic, we've been focused on this epidemic of loneliness and isolation, which is really impacting seniors at an astronomical rate.
Ted Fisher is the CEO of Ageless Innovation, the parent company of the Joy for All line of companion pets.
We currently have cats, dogs, and kittens. It's not about the technology. It's really kind of about the magic, right? It's what the technology enables.
One study found that 43% of the surveyed older adults felt lonely, and that was long before the pandemic. Social isolation has also been associated with about a 50% increased risk of dementia, among other serious medical conditions. A problem that's only been made worse by COVID-19.
All these incredibly important protective measures that are put in place serve to further isolate older adults.
And these furry friends, designed with older adults in mind, bark, meow, and react to your attention just like real animals.
Pets in general have always helped seniors and most people get out of a funk. Coming home to that dog that's just looking at you and wagging its tail, it's hard to continue to feel upset, you know, because that's just unconditional love.
Licensed therapist Catherine Bain-Subchak explains exactly what loneliness is.
Essentially, it's a perception of not feeling connected to other people, feeling unsupported, or feeling that you're misunderstood.
She says beyond the online games, book clubs, and phone calls, animals provide something special.
With seniors, it's difficult to find things to care for that give you that immediate reaction, so those pets do that. Having something to hold that's tactile, that's soft, that may bring up memories of their past pets that they had, that could help them feel less lonely.
Decreasing the sense of loneliness has other health benefits too.
Their memory is also impaired by loneliness. You don't have that outside triggers to remind you of things and to stay connected.
As we find new ways to connect with our older loved ones without putting their health at risk, the demand for companion pets, which are sold online, continues to bloom.
I think, like most skeptics, the second you see an older adult receive one of these, immediately name it and then interact with it as if they've had it, you know, for forever. It's magical. It really is.
I'm Chloe Nordquist reporting.
Chloe, thank you. Talk about a dog day afternoon. Today, pups took a dip at ESKENAZI Water Park. The JCCA nonprofit neighborhood organization held the event. And you can see here some dogs were more hesitant than others to enjoy the water. Kyle, that one right there on the edge is like, not quite sure if I want to get in.
Probably. I think it's a trick, you know. It's a big bathtub.
Right.
What it looks like. I know my dog Callie wouldn't want to go anywhere near that.
I was going to ask you, do your dogs like the water?
Callie does not. Now, Arlie, she'll jump in the bathtub.
Okay.
She loves bath time. So, yeah, that's probably something to do with it, but a nice day for the dogs to get a swim, and maybe you got out to the pool a little bit here. We had temperatures this afternoon in the lower 80s with those clear skies, though. Temperatures starting to fall back, especially Kokomo, not too far from the 50s right now at 61. We got 66 on the thermometer in Indy and Bloomington. Tonight, going to be a little bit cooler than where we started off our Sunday. As we go into Monday morning, we've got widespread 50s out there, 55 in Danville and Hendricks County, 55 in Muncie and Columbus. Going to start off the day at 56. Now, we are going to have a lot of sunshine here. Make sure you got the sunglasses ready to go, and temperatures that'll warm up here after we get from the 50s to 64 degrees by mid-morning. Your lunch hour temperature, very nice there with some lower humidity, right around 70 degrees, and we'll get into the upper 70s tomorrow afternoon. Pretty typical for this time of year here. By the middle of September, our average highs in the upper 70s. You'll be at 79 in Bloomington and Columbus, 75 in Peru, and we'll call for about 78 degrees in Indianapolis. But your lawn, it probably needs some water because so far it has been a very dry month of September. We're almost to the halfway mark here, and we haven't even had 1/10 of an inch of rainfall. So we're about 1 1/3 inches below average for the month. Not a whole lot coming our way here over the next few days. Wednesday, Thursday, about a 20 to 30% chance of seeing some of that wet weather. The rest of the week will be pretty dry, and some of that wet weather could be influenced by the remnants of Tropical Storm Sally. This is Wednesday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You see that tropical moisture coming our way. We're also going to have a cold front sliding through the state. But you also notice it's not all that heavy or widespread and really kind of favoring the southeastern portion of the state. Some of the models keep the rain out of here. So we'll keep tabs on that for you. It does look like that dry stretch, though, will continue here below average precipitation and rainfall expected right through the 27th of September here. So we'll keep tabs on that, but hopefully we can get a little bit of rain here and there. We are going to keep the nice temperatures, though, as we go into Tuesday with the dry weather, more sunshine, and highs in the upper 70s, very low humidity. That 7-day planning forecast, as we put it all together now, 82 on Wednesday, a little more humid there. That chance for a few showers and thunderstorms here before the end of the week. And look at that, heading into next Saturday and Sunday. Cool starts in the 40s, highs only in the lower 70s.
All right, Kyle, looks good. Thank you. New at 11, we could learn tomorrow if Big Ten football will return this fall. Today, university presidents were presented with a plan to make that happen, but a final decision is still to come. According to the Associated Press, a person with direct knowledge of the situation says members of the conference's Return to Competition Task Force spoke at a meeting. The person says the meeting ended without a vote. The Big Ten has been under pressure, intense pressure, to play ball after the presidents voted to postpone fall sports over COVID concerns. A key member of the Colts was the only one to kneel during the national anthem before today's game against the Jaguars, head coach Frank Reich. The rest of the team linked arms, and the Jaguars did not take the field during the national anthem. The Colts will be looking for their first win in next week's home opener. Our Brad Brown shows what went wrong in a frustrating Week 1 loss.
Jacksonville was the only NFL stadium hosting fans on this first Sunday of the regular season. Roughly 17,000 watching the opener. Phillip Rivers playing his first game in a Colts uniform. The 38-year-old quarterback came out with an aggressive start to the offense. The first drive of the season would end with a touchdown. Nyheim Hines breakthrough for the first score and a 7-0 Indy lead. Hines would add a second score in the second quarter. It would also be Rivers' first touchdown pass as Colts quarterback. Indy took a 14-7 lead with that one. As for Rivers, he put up some impressive numbers on Sunday, but interceptions proved to be a problem. His first of the day throwing into traffic got picked off by rookie C.J. Henderson. That would lead to Jacksonville's first touchdown. Rivers threw another INT early in the fourth quarter, but caught a huge break with a defensive penalty against the Jaguars. Colts managed a field goal out of that one. They took a 3-point lead. Speaking of field goals, new kicker Rodrigo Blankenship making his Colts debut. He closed out the first half with his first make. That put the Colts in front when they headed to the locker room. A third quarter kick, though, may have been tipped at the line. It went off the left upright and no good. The game would ultimately come down to the fourth quarter. Jacksonville taking their first lead of the game with just under 6 minutes to go. Gardner Minshew throwing his third touchdown of the afternoon. Jaguars went up 24-20. On the next possession, Rivers gets picked again. Jags got great field position out of that turnover. The Indy D would hold to just a field goal and kept the margin at 7. Colts get another drive just under 3 minutes to go, but the Jacksonville defense was up to the challenge. Rivers passed to T.Y. Hilton, batted down by Henderson on fourth down, and the Colts lose in Week 1 again. 7 straight, 10 times in the last 11 years they start 0-1 as Jacksonville comes away with a 27-20 win.
We came down here, felt like we were ready to go in all 3 phases, and just hurt ourselves. Hurt ourselves was offensively with some penalties and some miscues here and there. Obviously got off to a fast start, made a lot of, had a lot of yards in the passing game, made a lot of plays, throughout the game, but not enough to win the game.
You can call us frustrated a little bit because we expected to win the game and in a lot of ways probably should have. But the guys are, we got a lot to be excited about. We just got to put our head down and keep working, and we're in this thing for the long haul.
One injury of great concern for the Colts coming out of this first game. Running back Marlon Mack limped off the field in the second quarter. He had been holding his ankle. Coach Reich said after the game it was in fact an Achilles injury. Mack will have a further scan coming up on Monday. That could be a very big deal for the Colts offense, as that's their #1 running back, a pass catcher as well. We'll see how that turns out coming into this second week. Now the Colts won't play another division game until Week 10. A very interesting calendar with that this season, but the next 2 are at home. The Vikings come here for the home opener coming up next Sunday. IndyCar's second show of the weekend at Mid-Ohio saw Colton Herta win the pole position in the morning. He led the field to green in the afternoon. A rare big mistake by series points leader Scott Dixon. About 1/3 into the race, running in 5th position, Dixon spins on his own. That would knock him all the way back to 20th position. The PNC Bank team was able to make up some time, but ultimately Dixon finished 10th. Same result as Saturday. Meanwhile, up front, Herta was in control of the day. He led 57 of 75 laps. The 20-year-old driver picking up his first win of the season. A couple of seconds ahead of Alexander Rossi and Ryan Hunter-Reay. A 1-2-3 finish for Andretti Autosport.
A fairly simple day. It wasn't easy, but it was fairly simple in what we needed to do. And obviously starting first, it made it a lot easier for us. So, you know, just kind of clicking away at the laps and trying to decide when to pit was important. Going into Indy GP, we're the guys to beat based on Mid-Ohio, so hopefully we can keep it going.
The points margin goes from 96 to 72. Joseph Newgarden gaining 24 points on leader Dixon. Herta moves into 4th place in the championship with his win on Sunday. There's just 3 races left for IndyCar. 2 on the IMS road course at the Harvest GP are up next. Those are on October 2nd and 3rd. Brad Brown, WRTV Sports.
Students are spreading a message of hope and life through song. WRTV's Troy Washington shares the meaning behind this musical production.
This musical has been in the making for a while.
The kids, they wrote the production, they've been performing, they've been rehearsing the production actually since March of this year.
It's been a process to bring this very special production to life.
One of the things that we learned as the kids worked with the psychologists that we brought in, this started, like in November of last year. And so we brought in psychologists to just talk to the kids about what's really going on. And much of it is just that people aren't talking about it, that it's that hush, hush, hush.
Through the musical, it's all about putting a spotlight on suicide awareness and saving lives.
The name of our musical production is 1 in 5. That's the actual number of youth that contemplate or attempt suicide in Indiana. 1 in 5.
Today, the group of 6th to 12th graders from the Performing Arts Conservatory filmed their production.
It's a hush, hush topic, and we don't want it to be that way. We need everyone to know it's okay and it's safe to go to someone who cares about you and who wants to see you safe and live a healthy life.
The play itself is an original with a gripping life-saving twist at the end.
You have reached the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, also servicing the Veterans Service Line. If you are in emotional distress or suicidal crisis or are concerned about someone who might be, we are here to help.
All for the grand finale of sending a strong message to anyone who watches.
We're really excited to be able to put a message out, hopefully, that will help people, particularly teenagers in the Indianapolis and Indiana metro area to feel safe, to know that there's hope, and that the pain really will end.
Working for you, Troy Washington, WRTV.
Troy, thank you. If you or someone you know is struggling, we do have resources right now on our website, WRTV.com. You can also call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline anytime. The number is 1-800-273-8255. We'll be right back.
Pretty much a picture-perfect start to the week here. Lots of sunshine through Tuesday. Highs will be in the upper 70s there. Small chance for a shower or thunderstorm here as we go Wednesday into Thursday.
Kyle, thank you. And thank you so much for joining us. Good Morning Indiana starts at 4:30. Have a great night.